Good morning. Welcome to my live broadcast number 89. On this day is Friday, the 20th of July, and it's 8:05 a.m. in the morning. This is Julz and Paekau coming to you from Auckland, New Zealand, and so happy to catch up with you in my live broadcast today. Now, we've had a couple of exciting things that many of the broadcasters have been touching on this morning. Good morning, Bitcoin Scott. Thank you for coming along. I've got a funeral to attend today, so I thought I'd do my broadcast now before I head out. And just to let you know, Bitcoin Scott, Sharon Weller is here in New Zealand. We will be attending the same funeral together, and this will be her second funeral since she's been home here in New Zealand, so we have been busy. But it seems like, everybody's got their different interpretation of the new blog that's going around today. And so I'd like to spend my 30 minutes on that blog because I feel it's going to be a difficulty for some people to comprehend it. And even though Randy's been through it, it still needs to be defined in your own mind, because I can see this being sort of a stumbling block for some people, just till they get into the rhythm of what the cash centre is all about. Up to now too, I've had to actually look at it a couple of times, so I thought I'd like to spend my 30 minutes on that blog to see if I can interpret it in my own way. So thank you for coming along, Bitcoin Scott. So I'm going to share my screen and go over to that blog, because it is a defining blog, and taking registrations for cash centres globally now. And even in that heading, it's like taking registrations for cash centres globally now. And that can be something that you stop and pause over, because, are you registrations being done for the new members? And then there's this that's completely different as well. So let's go down and have a look at this blog, which it's been set out, well, to me, something I can easily understand. But like I said, there's going to be a few that'll stumble over it, and I guess that's to be expected. So there may need to be some hand-holding going on for some people who may get confused. The new members coming in may need a bit of hand-holding during this process, because now, if you're registrating as a new member, coming in and getting started from the billioncoins.info site through the process, and then coming to this. So I can see how this is quite a multitude of things to do to actually get yourself up and running. So this is quite a long blog, so I'll just go through it as quickly, but as inventive as I can get, because there's so much detail in it. So let's start. One of the major challenges we have in selling Kringle coins around the world is getting paid. Now, that's a true factor, as we know that, Bitcoin Randy has got his cash flow training going. So it hasn't been easy to sell your Kringle coins around, let alone within your own team, your body of team, and maybe in your own country, or some people that have joined you in the business. So yes, one of the major challenges we have and selling Kringle coins around the world is getting paid. Cash centres are the obvious solution. Only about 20 million people worldwide own cryptocurrencies today out of the 7.5 billion world population. Now that's it's quite a small figure when you think of it. 7.5 billion people and only 20 million people. And here we are to build our community to 1 billion people. So there's a big gap. That means 99.9% of the people in the world don't use cryptocurrencies yet. And it hasn't been an easy feat, even for myself, getting people, my family, getting them used to even having a look at what cryptocurrencies has. So I've still myself got a bit of work to do ahead of me to get my family up and running as far as cryptocurrency is concerned. Having buyers first go out and purchase Bitcoin or whatever before they can buy Kringle coins is very awkward. Because and that's true, because some of them don't even have a Bitcoin wallet. Some of them don't even know what a Bitcoin wallet is. Generally, the world of people have cash in hand, and that is how they buy things. We already have millions of members inside of our TBC community, and many of them also own other cryptocurrencies, such as Bitcoin. And I'm holding on to a couple of other ICO coins, although there's thousands of them available online now. It seems like there's an airdrop nearly every week. But to some people who get on and grab a hold of those things, keeping up with TBC is enough for me. When a seller in our community identifies a buyer and gets them to join, they want the buyer to purchase some Kringle coins from them as fast as possible. Up till now, it has been a long process to get the buyers through the learning curve of buying other cryptocurrencies so that they can trade those for the seller's Kringle coins. So as we know now, we've got you have a variety of coins that you can use now, Litecoin, Ethereum, in the TBC community now. What the buyer wants is the Kringle coins. They don't necessarily want to buy other cryptocurrencies too. It is time to build a global network of cash centers as the solution to this situation. So up to here, I hope you've got to really digest this blog and understand it. And so even though I'm concentrating on it now, I know I will go back and go through this blog again. Those of you with the send button, good morning, Stephen. Thank you for coming along. Hi, Christina. Those of you with the send button will now see a new item in the send button menu of your Kringle Cashback office called Cash Centers. If you own Bitcoin, Litecoin, or Ethereum, you can fill out the simple registration form you see in the image above to apply to become a cash center. Now, I've filled in this form. I thought I'd go ahead and fill it in and see what happens. So it's quite simple to fill in. As per usual, all the registrations, if you don't have the like Litecoin or Ethereum, which I haven't got Litecoin and Ethereum. Just make sure you click on the drop down, so the 0 will come up and then it'll fill in once you've submitted the form. As a cash center, you will be in a position to get a 20% profit trading your coins for cash. 20% profit trading your coins for cash. The seller in this transaction will refer their buyers local to you to your cash centre. Once their buyer is in front of you in person at your cash centre, you will see what the market value of the coin the seller wants from you. Then you will add 20% to that value and the buyer will pay you in cash. And then you will immediately send the seller the coins the buyer purchased. Once the seller sees the coins are on their way to them, they will send the buyer their kringles they purchased. Now see, that's quite in depth, just reading that bit there. I'm trying to embrace what I'm reading. It's still a little confusing, so I can see where people may have a bit of trouble interpreting things. But luckily we are able to go through it over and over. See the diagram in the poster above to understand how this will flow. Getting 20% above the current price is always going to be a profitable trade for you as the cash centre. I guess that it's going to get simpler as people start to use it. Like many things, once you do things repetitiously, you become used to what's happening. So let's hope that as a thumb rule, you do get used to using the cash centre. There's just one main rule that you must follow as a cash centre. You cannot steal buyers from sellers. Now that is a critical part. That makes sense. Sellers are your clients and they are sending their buyers in good faith to your cash centre. And you are not allowed to propose that the buyer just do business with you directly and cut out the seller. Now that makes so much sense. If this ever happens, you will lose your cash centre in the community and that will be the end of the 20% opportunity here for you. So, why do it? We're all here in good faith and trust. That's what the TBC community is all about. Even if the buyer suggests this idea to you, it is not allowed. The seller is counting on you having integrity in this third-party transaction. That means the buyer can never do business directly with you on any future transactions either. Sellers can easily report this kind of abuse by sending a ticket to the help desk. So let's be mindful, people, of all those that are in the community trying to get ahead and adhering to our TBC admin's instructions. Let me give you an example of how this works. Right, we'll go through this really slow, okay? Because I need to digest this as well. Raj from India signs up Jacob in Canada. And Jacob wants to pay the $10 admin fee and wants to purchase $100 of kringles from Raj. Right, so we've got that $10. Jacob wants to pay $10 and purchase 100 kringles, right? But Jacob only has cash. Raj will go to the cash centre part of the Kringle Cash back office and input the address of Jacob in Canada to find the cash centres near to Jacob. Okay, so far so good. Once Raj has found a suitable location of a cash centre near Jacob, he will contact the cash centre and let them know he is sending his buyer Jacob there to do a $110 purchase. Let's say Robert is the owner of that cash centre. So now we've got Robert in the picture. We've got Raj with Jacob in Canada who wants to buy, and now we have Robert in the picture who is the owner of the cash centre closest to Jacob. Robert will add a $22 fee on this transaction to compensate himself for being the middleman. Jacob shows up right away and pays $132 to Robert at the cash centre. Let's say Raj wants Bitcoin. Okay. So then Robert sends $110 of Bitcoin to Raj. Raj is thrilled. He got paid for doing a long-distance transaction. Then Raj collects the Bitcoin address and the exact amount of Bitcoin needed to send to admin to cover the $10 fee from Jacob and sends the Bitcoin to admin. Then Raj gets the TBC Kringle wallet address of Jacob and then sends $100 of Kringles to Jacob. Jacob is so happy because cookie rewards to him happens next. So that gives you a clear picture how this will flow. Well, so far, so good, because we've seen how two people, Raj and Jacob, had made a transaction which included Robert, because he was the owner of the cash centre closest to Jacob. So the transaction has taken place and everybody's happy. When you are registering to become a cash centre, use the address of a coffee shop near you or some other public place. You can meet with strangers to do these cash transactions. We don't recommend giving out your home address when filling out this form. You can edit this form ongoing as often as you wish. Oh, I think I've just made a mistake there because I think I stuck my address in there. So you could even become a travelling cash centre if you wanted. Be safe when doing transactions. So here I go. I'm the first one to make a mistake, I guess, because I put my home address in there. So I will go back and change that on my form. Actually, I might go in and show you how I filled in my form. So you can see where I've made the first mistake. But luckily, oh look, straight away the site's not available. Just let me try again. Okay. So I'm going to go and have a look at this registration form, which I can change. So bear with me. I won't be a second. Hopefully my internet is going okay. So we'll go down here. And here is the cash centre registration. So what they're saying is, right here where I've put my address, so I'll just blank all that out because they're not like in the blog, it's saying do not use your home address when filling out this form. You can edit this form ongoing as often as you wish. So I guess right now is a good time to change my and name one of my closest coffee shops, or obviously somewhere you can meet people. So, you know, I've made the first mistake, I guess. So I will change that. So yeah, there's the form. So I'll stop sharing my screen now and come back here. So yeah, so I've made the first mistake and I've put my home address in there. So as we can see now that you can put in anywhere else. And so that's good to see that I actually read through that and found my own mistake. So lesson learned, of course. So yeah, so I think that's a very defining blog for today, and hopefully that we all get through reading it and understanding how this is going to become a vital part of our getting people who want to use cash and getting them through the system that's now possible. I'm not sure whether how difficult it is to have an Ethereum account. I haven't. I'll go and have a look at opening a Litecoin account, I guess. I've never really looked at it other than Bitcoin. It's all I've ever used, or PayPal and things like that. So this blog is very defining at the moment, and as we know, our 500% bonus is carrying on for another month, and like I was looking at the date. Oh, it's going to end on the 21st of July, so I did a couple of broadcasts yesterday because I thought, oh well, I'll get an extra one in. Got a couple of more days. Well, it's the 20th here in New Zealand, so I believe it's still the 19th on the other side of the world in America and places like that, South Africa. So I thought I'd, cram a couple of videos a day, a couple of broadcasts a day, just to, get to the end of the first bonus round. So it was very enlightening to wake up this morning and see that the 500% bonus is carrying on for another month. So that was very good to read, and that'll give a lot of new broadcasters, I'm sure, the urgency to, well, not an urgency, but give them a bit of encouragement, because to start broadcasting, because it's such a wonderful gift that TBC have extended that 500% bonus. And so this morning on Randy's cash flow training, there are a couple of people in there who are getting ready for their first live broadcast, and so hopefully they will let everyone know when that's about to happen. Bex Paekau and Ki Paekau ready to come on board and do their first live broadcast. And so I'd truly like to encourage. I still do have a lot of my own team who have yet to do a broadcast. So I guess I need to step up my game as well, and invite them to maybe have a Zoom with them, just to see what the hold-up is, what are their worries about doing a live broadcast, and be there for them to help them through the process. If it helps with people to do a live broadcast as a tag team, so they won't have to have the whole 30 minutes to get through, and having someone to be on their panel, to or I will invite them to a broadcast and have them on my panel, just to get them used to just introducing themselves. It's such the area we've been awarded as far as the 24/7 broadcasts are concerned. It's such a powerful arena to be in, because you're putting yourself out there and people are listening. And once a broadcaster, and I'm no stranger to the old scratching their ear and not knowing what to say. I've been down that road. My first few broadcasts were more hilarious than informational, but I got over that hurdle, and a couple of them was that I had joined in on somebody else's broadcast. We did a tag team of about 6 or 7 of us. So the half an hour just flew by like that. And then, but once I got used to doing it on my own, it became second nature, and I'm so glad I got onto that as quickly as I did. So doing live broadcasts is something I've taken on full value, and gone with it. And so we have our great broadcasters like Bitcoin Scott and Stephen Cuffey, and I believe you're getting ready to do yours, Christina, which is awesome. I'd be happy to be there on your first quest. And so I've, as Randy has said, we'll try and keep it to the half an hour, and I'm just on that now. So I'm so happy to see you all here this morning. Bitcoin Scott, Stephen Cuffey, and Christina. Thank you so much for coming along, and I have booked in my slots, and it's quite funny now. Well, not funny. It's great actually, but I'm now fighting for a slot, which at the beginning of when all this started back in March, you could pick whatever slot you wanted. You had quite a run, but to see how full our broadcasting areas now, with the slots, the main slots got, and even half of the backup slots are getting filled up. So that's brilliant, and everybody's doing a brilliant job with getting in there and doing their broadcast. So for now, thank you so much for coming along, guys. It's been such a pleasure being here this morning, and I'd like to invite you back to my later broadcast. That I do have some slots booked up, but when you feel compelled to do a broadcast, that's exactly what you do. And TBC allow you to do that. So thank you once again, and I'll catch up with all of you again. Bye-bye for now.